Hello, students. It's time to revise chapter number 2 of political science. What is democracy? Why democracy? Topics in the chapter are: what is democracy? Features of democracy: major decisions by elected leaders, free and fair electoral competition, one person, one vote, one value, rule of law, and respect for rights. Why democracy? Arguments against democracy, arguments for democracy, and then broader meaning of democracy. What is democracy? A simple definition is democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Right? Simple definition is what? Democracy is a form of government made by the people, for the people, and to the people. Means the rulers are elected by the people, for the people, and the rulers are answerable to the people. Features of democracy: the rulers are elected by the people, first thing. Second, how they are elected? Through free and competitive elections. Free and competitive elections are held in democracy. Each adult, irrespective of religion, education, caste, color, wealth, have one vote, one value. कोई भी हो जाए, be it the president, be it the rickshaw puller, anyone, be Hindu, Muslim, or anyone, has one vote, one value. Means the value of his vote is one only. The elected rulers take decision within limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. Whichever the government is, किसी की भी गवर्नमेंट बने, you take example of India, BJP है, चाहे कांग्रेस है, चाहे कोई भी है, the government has to take decision within the limits which are set by the constitution. And what is the constitution? It's a set of rules and regulations according to which the country is governed. Then rule of law: we are not ruled by person. Democratic countries are ruled by the law. Certain rules and regulations have been made, certain law have been made in the constitution, and the country is governed according to that. Nobody is ruling our country, the law is ruling our country. The rights of the citizen must be protected through constitutions. Quite clear? There are certain fundamental rights and duties which are already mentioned in the constitution, and nobody can deny you for that. There must be an independent judiciary. Judiciary means courts. We have district courts, we have high court, supreme court, etc. Major decisions by elected leaders. Now some examples are given here. Students, in Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup army in October 1999. और क्या किया उन्होंने? And overthrew democratically elected government and became president of the country. जो भी उस समय government थी democratically, the people elected and the democratic government was formed, he overthrew that democratically elected government and he himself became the president of the country. 1999. Again in 2002, he held a referendum in the country. Now, what is referendum? Students, 1 mark question. What is referendum? An occasion when all the people of a country can vote on a particular political question. A question दिया जाता है and then they ask for their opinions. In simple word, it's a vote in which all the people in a country or an area are asked to give their opinion. Right? Voting नहीं हो रही है, कोई एक क्वेश्चन दे दिया गया, how many of you are in the favor and how many of you are against. So in 2002, he held a referendum in the country which was based on malpractices and fraud, granted him a 5-year extension. 2002 में जब वो referendum किया गया तो गलत तरीके से किया गया, तो उसकी जो पावर की एक्सटेंशन उसे और नेक्स्ट 5 years के लिए मिल गई. After passing law, legal framework order, एक उसने law pass किया which was called legal framework order, which gave the president power to dismiss the national and provisional assembly. उसने क्या किया? Provincial assembly और जो national and provincial assembly को dismiss कर दिया, and elections were held to the national and provincial assemblies. In this case, Pakistan has had elections. Elections हुए. elected representatives have some powers. पाकिस्तान में इलेक्शंस होते हैं और जो भी इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स होते हैं उनके दे डू हैव सम पावर्स but the final power rests with military officers and General Musharraf himself. So this should not be called a democracy. We cannot call this a democracy even if elections are held. Right? In a democracy, the final decision, which decision? Final decision regarding making power must rest with those elected by the people. Now we are going to talk about free and fair electoral competition. Another example is given. In China, elections are regularly held after every 5 years. हर 5 साल बाद वहाँ पे elections होते हैं for electing the country's parliament, called National People's Congress. What is the name of the parliament in China? It is National People's Congress. But students, point to be noted, before contesting elections, a candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. If somebody has to stand as a candidate, अगर आप election में खड़े होना चाहते हो and you are a citizen of China, you need to take approval of the Chinese Communist Party. The government is always formed by the Communist Party. Second example, Mexico. Mexico holds elections after every 6 years to elect its president. But until 2000, every election was won by a party called PRI, that is Institutional Revolutionary Party. Opposition parties did contest elections but never managed to win, as PRI was known to use many dirty tricks to win elections. Students, until 2000, मैक्सिको में एक ही पार्टी थी, दैट इज़ PRI, जो कि हर बार जीतती थी. ऑपोजिशन लड़ता था इलेक्शन के लिए बट कभी जीता नहीं टिल 2000. Both the cases should not be called a democracy, neither China nor Mexico. Why? Because a democracy must be based on a free and fair election where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. Democracy क्या कहती है? The election should be in a free and fair manner. Means free means no muscle power, no money, nothing should be used. Money is used for campaigning, etc. Campaigning is अपनी ज़रूरत होती है, but not for giving bribes. And fair election means nobody should force anyone, or no misuse of power, no dirty tricks should be used. And the government who is at power at present should have a fair chance of losing it. मतलब गवर्नमेंट को ये एहसास होना चाहिए कि if you are not going to work properly, if you are not going to work for the welfare of the people, you are not going to win the election. Now come to the next important topic, I should rather say, one person, one vote, one value. There are many instances of denial or equal right to vote. और कई जगह ये चीज़ नोट की जाती है कि equal right to vote is not given to everyone. Students, few years back in Saudi Arabia, women were not having the right to vote. Estonia has made its citizenship rules in such a way that people belonging to Russian minority find it difficult to get the right to vote. Estonia may be again जो Russian minority, a minority means the population which is less in number. They find it difficult to get the right to vote. In Fiji, the electoral system is such that the vote of an indigenous Fiji has more value than that of an Indian Fijian. Indigenous means having always lived in a place, means वहाँ के जो original people हैं, native, उनकी वोट की वैल्यू ज़्यादा है as compared to that of an Indian Fijian. In a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. This is again one of the feature of democracy. So neither Fiji nor Saudi Arabia can be called a democratic country. Rules of law and respects for rights. We are talking about the features of democracy. Since independence, Zimbabwe ruled by ZANU-PF. Its leader, Robert Mugabe, has been ruling the country. He is popular but also uses unfair practices in election. We are talking about Robert Mugabe. He's a famous person, he is popular, but we also know that he uses unfair practices in elections. Elections have been held regularly and always won by ZANU PF. Again, like Mexico. Opposition party workers are harassed and their meeting disturbed. Public protest and demonstration against the government are declared illegal. People don't have the right to protest or demonstrate. Televisions and radio are controlled by the government and give only the ruling party's version. Independent newspapers are there, but the government harasses those journalists who go against it. Means media is not free to speak anything against the existing government. The government has ignored some court judgments that went against it and has pressurized judges. But हम ये जानते हैं, we know that we should in a democratic country we should have independent judiciary. In this case, government is not democratic as there is no citizens' basic rights, no political opposition, no independent judiciary. A democratic government rule within limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. So, I hope the features of democracy is clear to you. Students, we will continue in the next chapter, next class. Thank you.